We all know Larry David shares a really unique perspective on the world, and not everyone shares it with him. I do.
Would you like to meet him?
To the
I was
grave.
looking for you, I think.
Okay, good, because I've been looking for years. But how much of that perspective, because you played the character so well, how much of that perspective did you already have within you as a person? Not necessarily how similar are you to George, but how much of that perspective on the world, social etiquette, social situations, did you share with Larry and with that character? And also, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And also, do you pop in the DVDs from time to time? If you're bored?
Well, I'll answer that first. I'm creating a new sort of one-man show for myself where I need to make a montage of Seinfeld. There are many episodes of Seinfeld I've never seen. I stopped watching. And so I've been popping them in to see if I could, where I want to grab a clip from or something. And I was saying to my manager on the way over, I said, I saw an episode, I watched a moment today. I was really funny. Anyway, I very rarely pop them in, no. I don't think there's much of George or Larry in me. My role model for George initially was Woody Allen. And most of the affectation of George began purely as Woody Allen. When I auditioned for it, it was based on 4 pages of the pilot script that I got in a casting office in New York with no director, no producer, no nothing to tell me what it was all about. So once I said, well, I think it's kind of Woody Allen, I ran out. I didn't wear glasses at the time. I ran out, got a pair of glasses, and I literally did Woody Allen for the first audition. I was blatantly Woody Allen. And I did the audition. I said, well, I'll never see that again. That's not going anywhere. And to my amazement, they called and said, we want to fly out to LA. And I met with Larry and Jerry, and no mention of it being, Larry at all. And they said, it's great. We love everything about it. The New Yorkness of it is great. Just, do a New York accent. Don't make it quite so obviously Woody Allen. And that's what I did. And for the first many episodes, 6, 7, 8, 9 episodes, I'm doing Woody Allen. If you go back and look at it, that's who I'm thinking. And somewhere there was an episode, I got to remember which one it was one of these days, but there was an episode that when it came to the table reading and we looked at it, it made no sense to me. And I went to Larry and I said, Larry, you got to help me with this. First of all, this is insane. This would never happen to anybody. But even if it did, no one would react like this. What are you thinking? And he said, what are you talking about? This happened to me, and this is exactly what I did. And I went, oh my God. And it was at that moment that I realized George was an alter ego for Larry, and I began actively looking to do Larry David, which becomes really funny when in the Curb reunions, it gets to a point where Jason quits the reunion show and Larry says, I can do it. I can play George. I am George. I'll play George. And Larry had to shoot a scene where he's playing George. I wasn't called to the set that day. That's not a day I was working. My phone rang at 7:30 in the morning. Was Larry going, you have to get down here. I don't know how to do this. I said, what are you talking about? It's you. He goes, I don't know how to do me. I don't know how to do it. So I had to go down and give him a reading line by line of how he would do George if he was playing George. So it gets very strange. But no, Larry, what Larry has that I don't have on any levels is he sees the absurdity in his world brilliantly. He is offended by everything.
And he offends everything.
And he is able to, he is unafraid to go, I'm offended, and react and respond. I sit there and go, and I sink into myself and reason myself through it. Larry has never met that emotion, and so he's also not anything like what he plays on Curb. He thinks that way. He doesn't act that way. But no, everybody has always said there must be some part of George in you, and I go, if there is, I don't think I'd be married. I don't think I'd have many friends. I'm not sure I could sustain a career. It's just, I don't think George could function in real society. And George is just well observed. I think that's why everybody says, I know a guy just like that, because I knew guys just like that, and I just sort of pulled a mishmash of them together to weave into Costanza. But I think he and I part company after they go cut.